Okay. I have a couple of announcements to make it.
Where do I punch in to admit? Where's that?
As you come up over here, you just hit admit. I'll come around, I'll walk around a little bit every once in a while. to
Good,
see.
good. I appreciate it. Thank you. What time do you want me to shut up?
What's that?
What time do you want me to shut up? Finish talking.
Whenever you like.
Well, what is the usual?
Half an hour.
Not about that, not about that.
All right, let's make some announcements and then we can start. Week of Learning, sponsored by Allison and Neil Paris, to commemorate the first yahrzeit of Allison's father, Khan, Alti Yaakov Ben Abraham Cohen. Don't forget tomorrow on Thursday, we have Rish Kodesh. We had Rish Kodesh Nation Learn. We have a bagels and lox breakfast on Thursday. If you'd like to join us, please make your reservation and we can start. Anyone else here? I see you like somebody in this.
I did that.
Yeah. So that puts no one's thing.
Boker Tov, welcome. I'm honored to be here. This past, one of the reasons, there are two reasons that I attend the early Friday night service here each week. One reason is that the services across the street from where we live, no early service. And I don't want to get home at 8:30, 8:45 and sit down for a Shabbos meal. I'm at the age I can't eat that late. But there's another reason, which is equally, if not better, for my attending. That is, I have an opportunity to speak with Mendy. Spend 5-10 minutes sharing. So this past Friday night, Mendy asked me about a topic. Give me a topic for today. Being one who came of age in the 60s, I can't get away from music of the 60s. So a major part of my life. I use that frame of reference. I use it in my talks. Instinctively, I said to Mendy, love me with all of your heart. Mendy also, it rang a bell when we started speaking about it. And then I gave him some incorrect information because I confused the song Love Me With All Your Heart with a different song that came out a few years prior to that. That was, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. There we go, see? That's all you need to do. Partik. The reality is that in Western culture, when you speak about heart, there's no shortage of songs over the decades. If I said within 10 minutes, we're going to name 20 songs with hearts, we could do it without working up a sweat. But also in Western culture, the heart is understood as being the place from which love emanates. Love comes from the heart. That's what we say. Whether it's true or not is immaterial. But we believe, we associate with the fact that love comes from the heart. As part of our religion, each and every one of us here could not count. We could not count that high how many times we have recited the Ahavta es Hashem Elkecha b'chol levavcha, b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol miodecha. We recited. My question is, do we understand it? And that's what this presentation is all about. Why doesn't the Torah? Why does the Torah just say, "V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha"? Period. Torah doesn't have to specify. Just say, "Love the Lord your God." Why go into a threesome? Torah could have said, "V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha." You want to be more specific? V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'levavcha. You don't like that? I'll give you more. V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha. You're still unhappy, not pleased? V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol v'yodecha. But the additional question is, why does the Torah say, "V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol"? And the Torah could have just said, "V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol decha." It did not have to repeat. You could give a great argument that leiv and nefesh and Mu'od are different. That's fine. But kol is not different. Doesn't have to be repeated 3 times. So we have to ask why. What does it mean? What's the difference between levavcha and kol levavcha? They're not the same. What do we typically understand it to mean? Which I happen to think is incorrect, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be here this morning. So when you ask someone or you tell someone, b'chol levavcha, what do we interpret it to mean? Not a difficult question.
Even in the bad times.
Define. I happen to like what you're saying. Define them.
Things go good. So you thank God. You love Him.
Okay, so you're talking about external events, occurrences, when times are from a song, when times are good, bad, happy, sad, if I understand you correctly. Good answer.
I just wanted to say, but putting love on the side for a minute, sometimes it's just the opposite. When times are bad, you find God. I don't know if you love Him or not. When things are very good, you think that you're writing things out based on your own merit, or based on what you can do. When things sometimes get bad, and you start to look for God. I don't know if you love Him then, but you look for Him more so when times are bad.
I drink to what you're saying.
That's unconditional.
There are no aliens.
In a foxhole. Reminds me of about 10 days ago. I was driving out to Elmont. And what's it called? Touchscreen, GPS, whatever it is on the car wasn't working. So I'm on my little handheld phone. But I'm at the lower level of the George Washington. I can't really see it clearly. I'm also speaking to somebody. I'm not that great multitasking. So I end up making I didn't go out of my way, but every wrong turn I could take, every roadway, which was a bad roadway, I took. And had I just stayed on the Cross Bronx, I would have made it in the hour and 20 minutes. But because I took the Deegan down to the Triborough and the Grand Central, every mistake I could make. So the clock is ticking, and so I am praying with such fervor. Kennt sich nicht vorstellen, you couldn't imagine the amount of fervor. But I'd like to address something else. I decided to do something that I do quite often. That is I went back to the Chumash and I looked to see the first time mention of the word lev, heart. When is the first time it's mentioned? It's not with Adam and Eve. With Adam and Eve, it's you're my flesh of my flesh, my bone of my bone. But it never says heart of my heart. So where's heart mentioned the first time? It isn't Parshas Breshis, incidentally. But where? It's not what you think. Anybody? Nobody? It's at a negative moment. When things turn sour, when things go bad. Toward the end of Parshas Breshis, ten generations pass from Adam and Eve. Who's the 10th generation? Noach is the star of the show. So just about his time, there's an expression in Hebrew, Higiel mayim ad nafesh. The water came up to, it was what I call a Popeye moment. I'd like to share with you what a Popeye moment is. You know it. You don't realize you know it, but you know it. A Popeye moment is when you say, that's all I can stand, because I can't stand no more. So the Kodesh Baruch Hu has a Popeye moment, and he said, that's it. But the text, the Torah says, he looks down, V'chol yetzer machshavos libo. Every manifestation of the heart of a human, rak ra kol hayom. It's only evil the entire day. It's nothing but evil. That's the first mention of heart. It's not a good mention. It's not a good association. And then, second one comes next verse. It says, B'yirachem Hashem, ki asas Adam. And incidentally, kudos to Art Scroll on this, because they did an excellent translation. I'm usually not a fan of the translations, because they translate Midrash as opposed to the text itself a lot of times. But they translate B'yirachem Hashem, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu reconsidered. Because when we say Nachamu, Nachamu, which we did just a few weeks ago, sure we say it's comfort, but Nachamu does not mean comfort. We translate it as comfort. Nachamu means think it over again, think it over again. It's not as bad as it seems. You can pick up the pieces. So the Kodesh Baruch Hu reconsidered, Ki asas Adam, he reconsidered having made mankind, V'yitatzei elibo, and his sadness was to his heart. Loosely, he took it to heart. Neither one has anything to do with love. If anything, it's an absence of love. God did not feel, kivyachol, that he had any love in his heart. Looking at what unfolded from Adam, Cain was an oismorph. You know the term oismorph? A reject. A no goodnik. Worthless. Throw him out. And it just got worse. So then Shem has a Popeye moment. He's taking it to heart. His heart is saddened because the heart of humans had no love. Certainly not for anybody else. Certainly not for the world. There was evil. There was evil in the heart. So Zogja, tell me, how is it then that we've come to the point where when we speak of heart, it's always lovey-dovey? You don't have to wait to Valentine's Day. There's a couple I know very well celebrating an anniversary today. Their cards have hearts on them. Hearts. Hearts. I celebrate my love for you with the heart. Let our hearts continue to beat together as one. I love you. I kid my daughter every time when I speak with her very frequently. But before I sign off, I say, I affect a hillbilly accent when I speak with her. There's a story behind it. But just before I sign off, I said, remember now, I love you with all my heart and always will. But that has become my sign off. But is the heart only love? Toward the end of Parshas Bereshit is not love. So we have to understand this. So I want to tell you a story. And I apologize to my wife for having to hear this story for the umpteenth time. She could tell it as well as I can, if not better. Come back with me 60 years. It's 1965. I'm 12 years old, 6th grade. The day school I attended, this is the 60s. The Jewish day school I attended, all the Jewish subjects. We were taught it was a Yiddish day school, Yiddish, Hebrew. But practically each and every teacher, because it was in the 60s, was a Holocaust survivor. How did they become teachers? My impression is that not one of them ever went to a teacher's college in the old country. Sound plausible? Of course. So the Yiddish they knew from their Alterheim, from Europe. Because nobody wanted Jews in those days, things haven't changed. They went to the fledgling state of Israel for several years. It was not by choice. It was the only option available. They went to Israel. Times were tough. And I mean tough. The first 10, 15 years of Israel. After several years in Israel, they found out they had some sort of family that would sponsor them. In this case, the family was in some godforsaken city in central Canada. So they came. And I have a feeling that they started doing very menial task work until they found out that they could be a teacher, cleaner work. So they taught. They had the Yiddish from Europe, they had the Hebrew from the 5-6 years in Israel. No, showing a teacher. What the principal didn't realize, or maybe he couldn't afford to realize, is that not everyone who came out of the camps we shouldn't know. Not everyone who came out, quote, within the realm of normal. And this is no criticism on my part. If the camps didn't destroy you physically, emotionally, or mentally, you paid a toll. There was one teacher in particular that I believe her soul was left in Auschwitz. Sixth grade teacher. I don't remember what we did. I believe we did nothing, but about 6 of us, all boys, were punished. We had to stay after school. Now, when you're in 6th grade, when you're 12 years old, you have a very black and white sense of justice. And if you are being punished unjustly, you're not going to stand for it. And one of my classmates didn't stand for it. He blew up at the teacher and he cursed her. He was right. But his Yiddish wasn't sophisticated enough to tell her what he really thought of her. So this is what he said. He said, "Du hast a blutige Herz." That's the best he could do. You have a bloody heart. He wasn't far off. He probably wanted to say, you have no heart, you have a damaged soul. And he was right. So let's go back to the beginning. When the Kodesh Baruch Hu asks us, when the Kodesh Baruch Hu pleads, P-L-E-A-S, when he pleads with us, love Hashem Elokecha with all your heart. What does it mean? It's more than when times are bad. That's the correct answer. But this, I think, is more. And here's what I believe. That if the heart, which we claim is the seat of love, it's also the seat of hate. There's a very, thank you, a very thin line. If you can love something, if you can find enough heart, love in your heart for somebody, then you can also hate someone with your entire heart. And if goodness can come from your heart, then evil can come from your heart. If understanding can come from your heart, then obstinance. I don't want to hear this. Don't give me any of your, well, put the word don't give me your blank explanations. I don't want to hear what you have to say. Don't justify and don't explain. It's too late for that. So let's translate. Love me with all of your heart. It means, as far as Rabbi Zell is concerned, I'll take you as you are. I created you. You're not perfect. I know you're not perfect. I don't expect you to be perfect. But I want you to love me with all your imperfections. Why? Two reasons. One, you're all I have. I'm not aware of a horse being able to love God. I don't know if an orangutan can love God. But God has every right to pray that the human who was created in his image can love him, however imperfect that love is. It's genuine. But because it's genuine, it's flawed. It has negative. The heart is not what we have grown accustomed to associating it is. That's one. Number two. Here I'm going to be very bold. There are times as humans where we become exasperated with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. I don't believe I'm the only one. And we say, how in the, either we take it personally or we look at somebody else. And we say to the Kodesh Baruch Hu, how in the name of creation you've just added another 3 Yesoimim to this world. I can't give a Yashar Kolach Kodesh Baruch Hu on this one. You've just created 3 more orphans. You've just created an amputee. You've just created a widow. The Kodesh Baruch Hu says, I'm prepared to love you, to accept your love. I'm prepared to accept your love, however flawed it is, from a heart that has good and bad, and benevolence and evil, and understanding and abstinence. But what's good for you or good for me should be good for the other. If I can love you and accept you with your heart, then I feel I have the right to plead with you, that you accept me, kivyachol, with what you perceive to be my heart. And if your heart is not always the very, very best, if it's not always zippity-doo-dah, then consider that there's 2 in this relationship. It's not just you, it's me as well. We're in the month of Elul. With this I conclude. We're in the month of Elul. It's a lot of talk, it's like the weather. A lot of talk about tshuva. No one seems to do very much about it, but we sure talk about it. Maybe it's time for us to come to an understanding with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. I admit this is very personal. Find your own level of communication. But I ask you, Kodesh Baruch Hu, to look favorably upon me with a heart that's far from perfect, and I mean far from perfect. And I hope I can find it with myself to continue my relationship with you, even though what I perceive to be your heart, in my concept, my ability to conceptualize, you shouldn't strike me down for saying this, but it's also far from perfect. So I wish you a blessed month of Elul, a good, healthy, sweet year, and my gratitude for including me in your morning breakfasts.
I think, again, I can speak for myself. I think as we grow in the beginning of time, as bad things happen to us, I think close to God, we're more or less afraid of Him. It's like almost like having a father sometimes is disciplining you. Bad things that you do, that's bad things, so you're scared of Him. So if you want to be close to God, you're just scared, but you don't love Him.
May I tell you something?
Let me just finish, okay? So it takes time. As you get older, maybe you understand things of how the world actually works better than you are when you're 10, 20, 25. It might take you to be 60 or 70 before you have the vision to understand that maybe what God is doing for you, you can't look at things at the moment. You have to look at things that maybe 5, 10, 20 years down the road and see how it ties into that action. And that thing might have been a good thing, not a bad thing. But I don't think everybody gets to the stage of loving God. And it's a very difficult concept.
Again, you're using the word love. I think we fall prey to being part of Western culture. That's number one. Two, I want your autograph. If with age we understand God better, because the older I get, the less I understand, not the more I understand. Number three, you speak about fearing God. I'm with you 100%. What we fail to recognize, if you want to talk about fear, it's God fearing us. You want to talk about fear? Kodesh Baruch Hu fears us. Because just when the Kodesh Baruch Hu thinks he's seen everything, we pull another whopper. So to borrow from Rabbi Yitzchak of Berditchev, because he had the same approach the way I see it. He held God just as accountable. He said, you know what? And now I'm putting words in his mouth. Accept me with my heart, with all the scars and the dings and the scratches, and I'll accept you with your dings and scratches and scars, and we wish each other, Kodesh Baruch Hu, a good gebench Shiur. I don't say we're equal. I don't say we're equal, but we have to communicate. So when we communicate, we have to find a common path of communication. That's it. Just don't discount the fact. This is what we forget. We are created. Just a moment. Let me finish. The Kodesh Baruch Hu keeps no secrets. He tells us that he has a sense, he gets angry. He tells us that he's jealous. He tells us that he bears grudges. This is not me talking. This is God talking. So when I show my stubbornness, so we're equal in the sense that my traits didn't just happen. Sure, I have parents, but who created my parents?
Sure, thank you so much. I would eventually have to say, shame.
Good, healthy speech.
See, I look at the other way. You look back at Jewish history, I mean, we're not perfect, we're far from perfect, but much better than other humans in general. And I see that we've never had it good, really good. So I look at Jewish history as a disaster all the way around. Anyway, you struck a chord when I was thinking back when I was in yeshiva with the European rabbis. My parents came from Vienna and they spoke a German Yiddish. So here I'm Torah das, Verteidigung, and all of a sudden the rabbi comes from the other side of the room and slaps me across the face.
What did you do?
German.
I was too German.
Too German. So I came
For
home.
this, you got a patch of fun.
So I spoke to my father, and what did he say? You must have done something.
Yeah, you must have deserved it.
So finally he said to me, look, I agree with you, Sunday 9 to 6 is a little bit harsh. So he was gonna take me to a baseball game if I behaved myself. So, but he didn't, he was an immigrant, he didn't care for baseball. So he'd keep me home Sunday morning. In the afternoon, he said, go to school next week. So I was very disappointed